Hello, and welcome back to Awaken. This is a space where truth is allowed, where reflection is honored, and where we don't rush clarity, we let it arrive. Today's episode came from a real moment of awareness for me, not a breakdown, but a recalibration. And I want to talk about what happened when pressure leaves the body and clarity finally has room to breathe. Now, one question that I always ask myself when I'm in those moments of exhilarated emotion, I like to say, or a kind of overflow of emotions, overflow of trying to predict and trying to um, make deliver answers to yourself or try re to inform your body that it's safe or to inform your mind that it's safe. And it takes a process, and it takes time, and it takes training, and it takes all of those things to really understand yourself at that level, to recenter yourself. And so for me, I had these moments yesterday where my emotions felt overwhelming at moments, and trying to understand what is real, what is not real, what is mine, what is not mine, right? All of those things. And I've done a lot of inner work where I was able to kind of sift through them and give myself time to understand and make decisions out of a clear mind and get myself back into a state of relief instead of a state of panic. And I think the panic was usually panic happens when something means a lot to you. When something has a lot of meaning and love and care for, right? When you care about something so much, that's the only time really your emotions are controlled by something else, because you have that strong meaning towards something, and I felt like you know I felt like it took me a lot of time to understand myself in that side, and to understand, okay, I think one of the greatest lessons within trying to center yourself is what is actually happening and what is not happening, and sitting with that and trying to understand, trying to find comfort and safeness in what is actually happening and what is not happening. So yesterday, when the panic arose and all of these things, it felt like if I move even a little bit in the wrong direction, that I'm going to lose something that's very meaningful to me. And so, with that being said, that was I had to sit with myself, and I had to write what I was feeling, and I had to rest in the knowing that whatever is meant for you will be yours, and it doesn't have to feel there isn't a it shouldn't come from a pressured moment. It should come from a mind that found relief in the decision. And I don't know if any of you have ever felt that, but it's like when you make decisions out of panic, usually those decisions are not ones of relief, but ones of worry, right? And so I learned to really sit with my excitement, even to sit with my heightened emotion, to sit with my anger at times, to sit with all of these emotions by myself and recenter myself, so I can make decisions out of relief and make decisions out of alignment, and not out of pressure and panic and anger and all of those things. So many times I think, and that took training. That's not something that happens overnight. That's not something you like. In the past, I let my anger get the best of me, and I let my voice become venomous and very revengeful. And I learned to not do that anymore. Okay, I learned to not do that anymore because it's not very nice. It's really not nice, but everyone who got that side of me deserved it. But I'm just saying, it's like I learned to not be that way anymore because it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me to react out of pressure, or to react out of anger, or to react out of a place of not myself, right? Because usually, like I say all the time, this is like literally a statement I say all the time. Even like I write it over and over and over again, even for myself. There's no problem that could ever be solved when anger is an emotion that's in the front seat, right? And it's okay for anger to be in the front seat. It's okay. You have to build that relationship with anger to kind of understand, okay, I'm angry in this moment. I am angry because of this. I need to just sit by myself instead of spewing out everything that you feel. You just, without kind of, um, without a second to just think, is this going to help the situation, or is this going to make it worse? Right? So it's not a matter really of, um, it's learning to heal the reaction that you have to something, whether that's disrespect, um whether that's whatever the case may be. It's learning to sit with your anger and heal, and kind of react in a way that's healing, and react in a way of solution, and react in a way of, even sometimes I'll get angry and I'll just like be like, I can't talk to anybody right now. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like I need to, and that took a lot of training for me. There in my healing journey, I said, listen, I'm in my healing journey. I'm not healed yet. So don't poke. You know what I'm saying? I would say that to people, and some people didn't listen, but I'm kidding. I swear to God, I'm kidding, but I'm not really kidding. But it's like, it's really, really important to to understand yourself at that level. Like I understood myself at that level. I was like, okay, when I'm angry, I say a lot of things that are really, really like not okay. And that's okay for me because I acknowledge that and I fixed it, right? I don't do that anymore because I'm healed now. I'm saved. Like I don't do that anymore. But in my mind I do sometimes. And that's kind of why I have to sit by myself. I'm like, okay, I need to sit by myself right now because it's not if what I'm thinking comes out of my mouth, then it's not going to be nice. And I'm a nice person, and I try. I'm a kind person, right? So I think now, and I did that training. I think, and then I sit by myself, and then I react. I react out of a place of alignment and a place of relief, if it even deserves a reaction out of me. Like most of the time, I have this 9 out of 10 rule. Like 9 times out of 10, I won't react to anger. I won't react to circumstances. But there's that 1 out of 10. I was like, it's still in me. It's still in me. That 1 out of 10 is still in me. It's still in me. Okay, but that's like dramatic stuff. Like that's like something serious has to happen, and then that 1 out of 10, I'll let it out. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to let you understand. Everybody is human. Everybody gets angry. Everybody gets sad. Everybody gets whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be diagnosed. It doesn't necessarily have to be like there's something wrong with someone. It's maybe they're just having a bad day, or maybe they're just not ready to talk. Like ready, and I'm not talking about me. Okay, I'm talking about in general. But I'm just saying, and I always have to say that because it's just like, when I come out in this podcast, I'm talking out of experience. I'm talking out of, you know, what I went through, and how I dealt with things, and how I managed to be to kind of be on a road of mastery when it comes to my emotions, when it comes to my articulation of my voice, and my meaning of my voice, and understanding myself first, so I can articulate myself in a way that's professional, and um, where the audience can actually understand how I feel, or how they're supposed to understand their emotions. And that's the whole point of my emotional compass, and that's the whole point of my healing framework, is it's lived experience, and it's lived through my experience, and through my journey, and through my healing journey. And so, with that being said, I like to say, my work, my internal work, is training, because it's kind of like it really is training. It really is, like, every single day you are choosing, instead of acting out of anger, you're choosing restraint. You're choosing, okay, this is not going to help the situation. I need to restrain myself, recalibrate, re remodify, and understand why I feel this way. I literally just went through my emotional compass yesterday. I sat down with myself. I was like, why do I feel this way? I sat and wrote. I grabbed my pen. I was like, it's time to write. And I've been so busy during my day, busy with work, busy with trying to figure out life and all of these things. And I really forgot how important it is for me as a person to have my pen and my paper, and just let go, and let it rip, and let it ignite something. And it's the same thing with my workout. It's like a healing place for me. It's a sanctuary. It's a place where there's no judgment. I'm not even judging myself, right? I'm not holding back, which in some cases, when you're in the presence of somebody, you kind of do hold back a little bit. But when it comes to sitting and writing, I try my best not to hold back. I just let it come out in whatever way it needs to come out. And that's the reason why I found relief yesterday, is because I wasn't somebody else. I was me. I was able to sit with myself. I was able to express my emotion, and I was able to be truthful with myself, and be truthful with my feelings. And so that took a lot of training for me to find a healthy route, instead of just saying whatever is in my mind. Now, whatever is in my mind is still exactly the same. Like, I want to say those things, right? There's still that need to want to say. There's still those that need to want to say things. It's not going to go away, but to actually do it, I don't feel that need anymore. And that took a lot of training. That took a lot of, find that took a lot of understanding on my end, to really see myself as, okay, if I react in this way, it's not going to be nice. And to, like, hold it and let it come out in a loving way, right? And to learn to let it come out in a loving way. And so, with that being said, there's a lot of, and that takes every single day. That work, it takes courage, it takes bravery, it takes alignment, it takes, because holding a mirror up to yourself, it's an ego death. It's literally, you're killing your ego. You're killing that side of you that's like, that doesn't want to be wrong, right? And now I'll tell myself that I was wrong about this, and I'll tell whoever I need to tell that I was wrong about this, or I was whatever, I was out of line, or whatever the case may be. Like, my ego doesn't get involved in my decision making anymore. And that's where the pressure lessened, because pressure is really, uh, pressure is created when something new, or something you don't know, or something that means a lot to you is being threatened. Okay. And so I learned that sometimes pressure is good. Sometimes, but it should pressure should never feel like it's stress. Pressure should never feel like it's if it's aligned with you, it's a good kind of pressure. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but if it's aligned with you, it still feels like pressure, but you're still able to work towards finding a solution or work towards finding a common ground or whatever the case may be. But when it's stress, like financial stress and that kind of pressure where you're doing your best but nothing is really finding its way to you, then that pressure is what the detrimental pressure. That kind of pressure is the one that gets and that interferes with your health, that interferes with your well-being and all of and that side of the thing, that side of life. And there are moments where we are human, we get through those things. We have to learn how to get through those things. And with and that's the whole point of when chaos does come into your life. When chaos does come into your life, it's meant to come into your life and for it to be released and gone. It's not meant to stay there. It's not meant to be a continuous thing in a continuous cycle, because that's when it starts interfering with your health. And so I always say this, like out of a joking way, in a joking way, but it's so serious, so real, that I'm not dealing with this situation because like I don't want to get wrinkles. Like I'll say that out loud, and I'll be like, and it has some truth to it, where I'm not dealing with certain things or certain um toxicity or whatever the case may be, because I don't want to stress myself out. I don't want to be in that stressful situation. I'm talking in general. Like right now I'm not stressed. Right now I'm pretty cool. Yesterday I was, but today I'm pretty cool. I'm moving through it. I'm moving through whatever I need to move through. And so I think the best decisions are the decisions made out of relief, the decisions made out of alignment, because this it's 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 something that aligns with you. It's something that's meant for you. Now whatever is meant for you will be yours. And you wouldn't have to like force it or um or anything like that. You wouldn't have to add pressure to the situation, you know? So now I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about in general. Okay. Okay. Another question, which I love. What does training mean emotionally for you? So training is something, is a expression I like to use when it comes to challenges, when it comes to hardship. I use the word training. I use that kind of verbiage because it's like a challenge. It makes me feel like, okay, this is a challenge, and I just have to find the way out, like a maze, like trying to find your way out of a situation. That way, you never you now you know the roadmap. Now you are the blueprint. You don't need to go through that anymore. And so the next time you go through a hardship, it just gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier, where you become resilient in a way where you're going through this bad thing, but you're also conscious. And so I always say this too, like when you're going through hardship and you're conscious throughout the process, you are building wisdom, you're building endurance, you're building mastery, you're building a resilience that only hardship can build. And so I learned that the more the more hardship I went through, the stronger and the braver and the more courageous I was with, and the more trusting I was within myself. There's so many things I went through in my life where there was a time where I victimized myself, and I was like, why me? Why did I have to go through this? Why did I have to go through all of this hardship, right? And I was in the why me stage, the victim me. And I was in and that was when the pressure got worse. And that was when the my health my health went decaying, and my face became like look completely different now than I did 5 years, 6 years ago. Like a whole different person, literally. And it's all because of the inner work that I've done. It's because I saw beauty in the hardship rather than actual um like what rather than a downfall in the hardship, right? So people usually, when they're in that hardship, they're like, why me, why me, why me, why me? If we can train ourselves to be like, okay, what do I need to learn from this so I never have to go through it again, instead of the why me, you'll never repeat that cycle again, because you're learning, you're building that endurance, you're building that resilience, you're building that you're building your road, you're building the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because let's think of it this way. If you are on a road and you keep and you stop somewhere, and then you turn, and then you keep coming back to the same position, you keep coming back to the same spot, you keep coming back to the same spot, you're not actually learning anything. You're just keep cycling in the same cycle. You're going through the same problem with different people, the same thing with different circumstances, with different environments, with different whatever, but the same thing keeps happening. Like, have you ever looked at somebody's life and been like, wow, this person is always going through something, and it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? I saw that within myself. And that was when I literally woke up one day, and I'm not even over exaggerating. I woke up one day and I was like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve people like this in my life. I don't deserve being in this circumstance. I don't deserve being someone who I deserve the best. I deserve to love myself. I deserve all of these things. And so that was the day when I was like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? And and I literally got rid of everyone that didn't align with that mission. Everyone. I recalibrated my entire life to fit what actually aligned with me. And so today I'm extremely protective over that. I'm extremely protective over feeling safe, and then feeling loved, and feeling cared for, and feeling all of these things. It's not a matter of feeling it's not a matter of control. It's just a matter of finding comfort and finding relief in someone. It's not a matter of control at all. So I think that the emotional training is where each person is going to really find trust within themselves and really find love for themselves in that training, in those challenges. And you build endurance, and you build resilience, and you build love for yourself, and you build trust. That's the whole point about resilience, is to build trust. The more trust you have, the more resilient you come. Your bounce back is really quick. Really, really quick. And I've become so good at it. Sometimes I shock myself. Like, I probably yesterday I didn't even sleep for probably 1 hour. I literally sat in my bed and was just like thinking the entire time, what do I do? How do I get through this? What do I do with this? What do I do with that? All those questions in my mind. And I still woke up, did my workout, released a little bit in that workout, sat down. Yet last night I wrote a lot, and it was just a matter of release after everything. And then I came back and rewired my brain and restored my and restored that side of me. So with that being said, I use my own framework all the time to rebuild that resilience with myself and come back to me and come back over and over and over and over again. Always come back, always building that side. So, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate all of your time, and I hope to see you next time. So, more training, more alignment, less pressure, and more relief. That's the framework here for today. So, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day and a balanced day.